Hi, my name is Angela Leon, and today I'll be presenting my presentation. The name of my presentation is Ethically Creating an Environment Where All Students Can Succeed. I have chosen two cases which I will explore in detail throughout the presentation. These cases will be known as Dilemma 1 and Dilemma 2. Both Dilemma 1 and Dilemma 2 are cases which can occur in a classroom with an ESE co-teacher. These cases are based on my experience. I also wanted to mention that in order for any of my solutions to work, the faculty must continually strive to improve and maintain good conditions within the classroom. Also, ethical standards are important to uphold alongside valuing diversity. Diversity can take many forms, such as racial diversity, ability diversity, and language diversity. Now I would like to introduce Dilemma 1. Should ESE co-teacher assist English language learner student? In this case study, a 6th grade English language learner that is not diagnosed with a disability is vastly underperforming in his ELA class. The student wishes to be included in ESE small groups pulled by the ESE co-teacher. The ESE co-teacher does not know whether to pull the student or not. The student may also have a co-occurring learning disability apart from being an English language learner. The most important thing to note is that there is no ESOL program at the school where this student is attempting to pass language arts. Apart from there being no ESOL program to help him pass his FAST exam, his end-of-year reading exam, there is also no Spanish-speaking or bilingual dedicated ESOL faculty to help administer assessments in the student's home language and evaluate whether the student has a disability that would affect his learning. I chose two ethical principles for dilemma number 1. The first one is advocating for professional conditions and resources that will improve learning outcomes of individuals with exceptionalities. So, all ELL kids can have exceptionalities. So this issue is not just about the one English language learner student who may or may not have a disability, but it also pertains to the rest of the English language learner community at the school who may or may not have disabilities. The second principle is neither engaging in or tolerating any practice which harms individuals with disabilities. This dilemma also relates to not harming the educational potential or morale of the student who is an English language learner and suspected of having a disability. The resolution to Dilemma 1. Data from 2002 shows that only 9.9% of ELL students receive special education services, as opposed to 13.3% enrolled in schools. This data is from the U.S. Department of Education Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Service from 2002. Florida Statute 1003.56, passed in 2023, also does not provide for ELL students to be guaranteed an ESOL program in every publicly funded school. Without ESOL services, schools cannot be sure a student is receiving a proper education. Adding an ESOL program and effective assessment for ESC conditions is a must for improving conditions for ELLs with disabilities. Now we will move on to Dilemma 2. A student with autism in the 6th grade makes loud, inappropriate noises during classroom instruction and work time. The student has a paraprofessional. The co-teacher is available to assist the ESC student to the best of their abilities. Should this student be included in the general education classes, he may be a distraction to other students. Will allowing the student to stim instead of redirecting him towards masking create problems with his future relationships? So there are a number of ethical questions here, but I will focus on the distraction to other students ethical question. I will focus on how the community as a whole can function and proactively work to create a solution that suits both disabled and non-disabled students. Ethical principles for dilemma number 2. My first ethical principle I chose is using evidence, instructional data, research, and professional knowledge to inform practice. So, using information about the evidence-based practices to help autistic students succeed in inclusion settings is an excellent way to ameliorate any potential issues that may come up when the autistic child is placed in a general education setting. Promoting meaningful and inclusive participation of individuals with exceptionalities in their schools and communities. So, students with autism and students with disabilities as a whole deserve to participate in their school and local communities to the greatest extent possible. My resolution to Dilemma 2 involves an evidence-based practice called reverse inclusion. Reverse inclusion is a teaching strategy that utilizes pull-out groups and resource room instruction of small groups of special education students. A peer-reviewed study has shown that reverse inclusion is more effective than natural inclusive school settings. Autistic students' cooperative play increases in reverse inclusion settings. Autistic students display moderate changes in social interactions in reverse inclusion settings. In conclusion, pull-out groups by the inclusion teacher would allow non-disabled students more time to focus and allow them to rest between exposure to the autistic student behaviors, while also allowing the autistic student to develop crucial social skills that he can then generalize to working with general education students. Comparison of dilemmas. Both dilemmas featured conflicts commonly found in classrooms. Dilemma 1 focused on a student who was potentially disabled. Dilemma 2 focused on a student with a known disability. Whether a student's disabilities are known to others or not, one must take action to serve the collective good for students who are disabled and for students who are not disabled. In addition, evidence-based practices must be used to accommodate individual educational needs. Summary and synthesis. Ethical principles are vital to ensuring the success of all students in the classroom. The challenges faced in ethical dilemmas can be overcome using evidence-based practices. Through careful planning and execution, faculty can prepare for and execute evidence-based solutions to common classroom issues. Faculty can create lesson plans and prepare ahead of time based on known information about students for a classroom that is set up to ensure all students are safe, all students are comfortable, and all students are prepared with the resources to succeed. Here are my references. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.